Yeah, hi guys, and welcome to my channel. This is Ezago TV. I got this video where I watch for Arise News and where they really talk about this insecurity where they happen for Nigeria. Man, I must tell you the truth. The federal government need to find solution to this problem because this plateau massacre is getting much. And waiting, listening to this guy, you go know say these people really get agenda wey make them dey really dey do this thing, dey take out this dangerous act. These people get agenda, be like say dem get serious agenda which the federal government, the military are not telling the Nigerians. Just lis ten to this video, in fact you go shed tears. A lot is happening. And how can 190 something people be killed on the 25th of December and the federal government still keep quiet? Say only wetin the vice president fit tell person, the people be say make dem make peace. How can you make peace where a lot of killings is happening in the country? Please, they need to find solution. They need to find solution. If they refuse to find solution, make the people rise up. Make them tell the people, make the people rise up for themselves. Because you cannot tell people to fold their hand and this kind of massacre they go around for the country. So just listen to this video where I just watched for the Arise News, and the thing really shocking to me. It's so shocking. I don't know what I feel talk for this kind of thing. It shows a lot they really happen for this our country. A lot is happening, and these people have agenda will make them they do this thing. So just listen to this video. Watch this video.
Well, it's a terrible humanitarian situation. And for instance, Mango is close to Mango local government area, received part of the attacks, is close to Bokos local government area, where this latest had the more number of people killed. In Mango alone, where I had visited less than 2 months ago, I had gone to these communities, I've seen the level of destruction. In one of the IDP camps in Mango, there's 4 IDP camps and 12 distribution centers. One of the IDP camps I visited had 4,000 households, close to 7,000 individuals in an IDP camp. And then one of the prominent politicians of this nation visited that local government and that state. And the particular IDP camp received 72 bags of rice. And 72 bags of rice were distributed to 4,000 households, and each household was getting a cup of rice. And then the day they were distributing a cup of rice, they had to bring in soldiers from helping to manage the distribution of a cup of rice. So you see that people are hungry, angry, and frustrated to the point that they are struggling and fighting each other over a cup of rice, not for one individual, but for one household. This is just to paint a picture of the humanitarian disaster that is happening on that scale. Move away from the humanitarian disaster, and my point is that what I've seen, because I've spent 8 months studying the insecurity in the Middle Belt, and what we've seen is that the insecurity in the Middle Belt is not what is reported. What I thought while going into the Middle Belt was that, oh, there is a farmer-header clash, and I didn't see one. I've been to Nasarawa, I've been to Benue, I've been to Plateau, I've not been to Southern Kaduna. I limited my thing to Northern Kaduna, where I just gathered secondary materials. But then what you find in Southern Kaduna is not going to be different from what you find in the 3 states I've talked to you about. What is happening is an act of terror. And I'll give you this. I'll refer you to Nigeria's laws, Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act of 2022. If you go to section 3, subsection C, so let's just read so that you see what I'm saying. The law says that an act of terror is an act committed by, let's see, in this act of terrorism means an act willfully performed with the intention of furthering an ideology, whether political, religious, racial, or ethnic, in which, I'll now jump to section 3C, subsection 3C, in which seriously intimidates a population. What you're reporting intimidates a population. That's number 1. Then D, which seriously destabilizes or destroys the fundamental political, constitutional, economic, or social structures of a country or international organization. What you are reporting also contravenes this act. D, let's go to F, which violates the provisions of any international treaty or resolution to which Nigeria is a party or subject to the provisions of section 12 of the Constitution. Then G, I will read GII and IV and I'll end with that. GI, which causes or involves or it results in I, attack on a person's life in the form of grievous bodily harm or death. Now go to III, destruction of a facility including a private property which may likely endanger human life or result in major economic loss. And then V, the people who are engaged in the manufacture, possession, acquisition, transfer, supply, or use of weapons. Every other thing that is captured by this law as terrorism is what we are reporting. Why do we keep calling it farmer header crisis? That's it. So I'll come back to the response time. Let me also try to be establishing the base of the discussion. Usually ask yourself, what happens to these communities after they've been attacked? Usually a particular community is attacked like 3 or 4 times over a 1-year period, and the people in that community feel so unsafe, they move to the neighboring community or to an IDP camp. And you would expect that those communities will remain empty. No, they won't. People come in there and settle there. As I'm speaking with you, go to Moon Council Ward in Kwande local government area of Benue State. As I'm speaking to you, you have almost 38 communities in Mangu local government alone that have been repossessed by people. And these are places where you have some places. You know that Plateau, for instance, used to be a mining site when Nigeria was big on iron mining and all of those ore minings. These people are taking over those strategic places, and they are taking over bodies of water, and they settle there. And so it is not as if they attack and people can move back to their communities. When people try to move back to their communities, the attacks resume and they run away. So people are living in their houses now. And then if you go back to the
So it's a case of attack, sack, occupy.
And replace. And then if you move a bit further to see the modality and in the upcoming census, NPC is not going to be accounting those demolished houses. NPC is not going to be counting them. NPC is going to be instead counting new settlements close to those demolished houses. So there is a serious problem you have on your hands. It's beyond what is being painted by the media. Let's still stay on the cause of the problem. And you find a community who they will tell you they are coming, and they come, droves, in some cases 250 people. And then the community has like 20 or 30 vigilante services against who have pump action rifles, who you know that the effective range of a good pump action, depending on the bullets you're using, is 30 meters. And these guys have 400-meter weapon that they can fire at you from 400 meters away, and they aim you and they get you. Sometimes they have surface-to-air missiles. Sometimes they have weapons that can fire at operative range of 800 meters. Sometimes they come with 50-meter caliber weapons. And the military-grade assault rifles they are coming with is superior to what our Nigerian army has. This is not your regular pastoralists. This is not them. This is a full-fledged terrorist organization. And when you hear the vice president telling people to live in peace, to embrace peace, no, you are embracing deaths. So what you're telling them is to sit in one of the people I interviewed, I can still see their faces, really. I've been to these places, I've seen shallow graves, I've talked to kids, I've seen people who had different kinds of things. The pictures are all over my laptop here. I can show you this after the program. If you see what is really happening, one of the people I talked to, I said, why are you staying in this community? You know that they will come back. He said, life in the IDP camp is death. Life in the community is death. I don't know whether they are coming or not, but I can't stay either ways. So they are waiting to be killed. It's just like dying instrumentally. This is what is really going on. And you are telling them to embrace peace because the government is seeing this as farmer header class. So they would advise you to live peaceably. That's why we are telling the government, begin the process to officially gazette these people. Again, let me take you back to Boko Haram. Nobody goes to any community that is attacked by Boko Haram to tell them, live peaceably with your neighbors, because they've been officially gazetted. And Nigerian military knows what they are dealing with, terrorists. But now when you see them as, two fighting, it becomes an issue of trying to separate the two guys that are fighting. No, two guys are not fighting. One person has an agenda, ideological agenda, political agenda, religious agenda, and they are pursuing it. And then if you ask the communities, what do you hear when they come? They start chanting religious chants before they attack. And in many of the cases, you ask them yourselves, especially when they have time to attack, sometimes they cordon off the security issue, they cordon off the community and start slaughtering with knives. And why are they not killing with the weapons they have? Why are they slaughtering with knives? So there are a lot of issues that you see on display here that you would see that indeed the federal government is doing Plateau people, Benue people, and indeed all of those people. And I hear my elder brother talking about, these are not border communities. Plateau is not a border, Benue, Kaduna. So these they move up and down. So you talk.
We really don't have much time, but again.